Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies Presser. We are finally back after the bye round. I don't know about you guys, but that was a tough week just getting through with no Collingwood game. But now it really does feel like we're entering the business end of the season. I don't know how I manage to say this every week, but every game it just finds a way to get more and more and more important as we get closer to the final series. Looking at the ladder over the course of the weekend, the results keep favouring us as well. And obviously, first and foremost, the most important thing is Collingwood need to look after themselves and get their wins and sort that out. But it is nice when you see GWS beating Brisbane and then Adelaide beating Brisbane last week, and Gold Coast, I think they fell short last week as well. So there's a lot of results going our way right now. And then I believe Geelong and Brisbane are playing this week as well. So we just got to keep doing us, focus on us, keep stringing together results. As you can see, as per the title today, when I say what to do with JDG, we know he's nearing a return. So I do want to open up the conversation about if he's available, let's say hypothetically, look, we'll know tomorrow I don't think there'll be an injury update today, but who knows? It's more likely to be tomorrow. We'll find out what his status is. If he's available this week or next week, by what route does he find his way back into the AFL? Are the times different where now we might ask Jordan to go to play a half in the VFL to get some conditioning in? Does he come into the AFL side as a sub? So I'm intrigued to hear what you guys think about this matter, because I think it's quite interesting. Because you look at the midfield already, at the moment it's stacked with talent and rigor. You got Ned Long, Nick Dacos, Scott Pendlebury, still side bottom. Jack Crisp is coming through. Bo McCreary is going through and doing a job. That's where we're at. I could guess who comes out directly for De Goey, and that's Lockie Sullivan. But you just want to make sure. You just want to make sure that if we're going by Fly's mantra, he's got to be fit to perform. So for me, that's where I stand with that. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe I'll ask the hard-hitting questions to Manny, who's waiting in the chat. But I think that's where we're at. So and of course we got the Saints and the Eagles coming up. God, 13-2 would be unreal. What, 16 wins gets you top 4, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Let me just refresh my mind. What does 16 wins get you in this AFL economy? Let's have a look. Let's have a look last year. Is 16 wins top 2? Yeah, 16 wins is top 2 in 2024. In 2023, we were 18-5 in 2023. Wow. Wowee. 22. Yeah, 16 wins is top 2. Did you hear Reef broke a club record? Yeah, I saw. The bench press guy. Big dog. So relative to his body weight, it's a record. 135. Big numbers. Big numbers. All right, let's make sure this Discord thing is all good to go. All right. Let's get Manny in, guys. Give me one sec. Yassel, mate.
What are you doing over there? You surfaced, huh? You back on?
Back from a little live stream hiatus. Did you miss me?
Fucking oath, mate. Top of the table, buddy. Easy break.
What's going
Easy
on?
break when you're top of the table, isn't it?
What did you do with your free time?
Put my boots on there. What do you think I've done?
Nothing, huh?
No, I've done research, mate. I've done research on other teams and stuff, other players, buddy.
Yeah?
Research. I watched other games. Did you watch any games?
Yeah. Watched a few. There was a few good ones, a few sleepers, but I guess that's what it is. What about you?
What about Brozzy? Good news with Brozzy, yeah?
Yeah, signed on 4 years.
Oh, really?
Basically a pie for life,
Really?
right?
I wonder who told you that fucking 6 months ago when you were doing your vlog, going to training about Bruzzy. Told you, he's not going nowhere there. I know my players, buddy. He's not going nowhere. Loves the club. Geordie to Goey there. Geordie to Goey. Same situation as McStay, like last week. 2 weeks ago. If he's fit, fully fit, he plays. If he's not fully fit, you save him for the Carlton game. Carlton's petrified of Geordie. They shit bricks when Geordie's playing. He demolishes them every time.
Would you start him or sub him, Goey?
Right, start him there. Start him. What do you mean sub him? What's this sub? Sub who? You're going Geordie. If he's fit, he's on. Simple. Forward line. 70% forward. I'm giving him 70% forward time, and I'm giving him 30% midfield. Sub what? What's the point of playing for a sub? What's a sub going to do? Bring him on as a sub so he gets injured again.
I'm intrigued to see if Goey is to live in the forward line, what that does to a Jamie Elliott.
Yeah, but they push up the ground. They rotate off the bench there. They rotate them, so when one comes off, if Jamie comes off, Geordie stays on. So they rotate with each other. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to be on the field at the same time in many instances.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But then the other forwards come off, so that they do rotations. But that's okay. I love to have Jamie and Geordie in the same forward line. Who gives a shit?
Just get him in, huh? Fuck it. Just
get him in, mate. If he's fit, he plays exactly like McStay. If he's fully fit, though, he's got to be fully fit, and you play him. If you want to get runs, if he's fully fit, you want to get run into his legs. You play him against St Kilda and West Coast, because the Saints this week, I'm telling you, they're going to bring in young kids this week. They can't make finals now. They're going to bring in. I reckon they're going to bring in three or four young kids, because the older players played like shit last week. I don't know if you saw the game. They got pumped.
Yeah,
they got pumped. So they're going to bring in kids, and then we've got West Coast. These two games here, I want them signed, sealed, delivered. They're critical, because Geelong is one game away from us, and like you said before, you've done your research. Geelong's playing Brisbane, right? So if Brisbane beats Geelong and we get the wins, we're going to be 2 games ahead of all of them.
13-2 would be bloody nice. Bloody nice.
Huh?
13-2, huh?
I'll be. We want to lock in. We want to lock in top 2 before we get to the hard part of the end of the season. We've got 3 hard games coming up. We've checked it already. We got Crows at home here. We've got
when
Brisbane.
When you say home, which home? Your home.
Adelaide. My home.
Your home.
Yeah. Yeah, Adelaide here. Yeah, my home. Collingwood comes in, gives it to him. It's our home.
It may as well be Collingwood's home. How well we do there, right?
But we don't want to. We don't want to risk it. So if we can get the job done now, if we can beat St Kilda, which we should easily. Let's be honest today. We should give it to St Kilda. We should annihilate. We should annihilate West Coast and buff our percentage right up. And we should give it to the shit kickers Carlton easily. So we should be looking for now 3 wins in a row, and then rest players at the end.
Oh, what about this? Rick in the chat.
Another report come out. Another report come out. I'm going to tell you quickly.
Yeah.
Another report come out that all our players, all of them, apart from Mitchell and Cox, are signing on for another year. So we're going to have all our older players are signing on. So we're going to have 6 players there on $1 million combined in our salary cap. How good's the club done, mate? Beautiful work. And Mitchell and Cox have been told to wait, but all the rest of them, they've agreed they want to play on for another year. They're going to be on about 250, 300 grand a year in minimum wage, and that's going to be around 1 million, 1.2 combined on the salary cap. That's why they've got big fish. There's talk about us grabbing some big fish in the trade period.
Let's start again. Let's make a little video out of this. I'll trim this and make this into a video, because it did just come out. So I'll start it and then we'll talk about it. All right.
All right, buddy.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen,
you saw that, huh?
Yeah, I was while you were talking, I was like, I better go fact check it because Manny, you can't
Oh
trust
my
Manny from Adelaide.
God.
You know what I mean?
Okay, there. Everything I said comes true, man. I like that.
All right, so this just in. Let's have a look. I think it's from the Footy Furnace. So,
Mm.
6 veteran Pies
Yes.
set to extend, but nervous wait for pair. All right. Scott Pendlebury, still
Yes.
side bottom. Myercheck, Elliott, Howe, and Will Hoskin Elliott, all currently without contracts beyond this season, are expected to sign on for next year. However, but there are 2 more whose futures aren't currently as clear cut. Mason Cox and Tom
Well,
Mitchell. According to
yes.
Nine's Tom Morris, Collingwood is in the process of considering the futures of the aforementioned crop, all of whom are 31 years of age or older. Thoughts?
Yes. So you can work it out. The 2 that have been told to wait, where are they playing at the moment?
VFL.
Exactly. All the others are playing AFL. So those 2 there, because they can't break into the side, I've got a feeling, unless there's injuries now, that Mitchell and Cox won't break into the side again. We're going to settle the side down now. We're going to get Geordie back in, try to settle the side down, right, going towards finals. Unless we rest a couple of players at the end of the season, they might come in. But I reckon Mitchell and Cox, they're on their way out.
Yeah.
But all the others, we're going to have how many is there? Count them for me.
Six. So the good thing with this, Manny, is that
we're going to have 6 players.
Yes,
We're going to have 6 players then. 6 players combined on $1 million of our salary cap, because the club's not going to pay them more. The club's not going to pay them more than $250,000 a year to play for another year. So we're going to have 6 players on $1 million worth of salary cap, and we're going to have a war chest. I'm telling you, there's going to be a war chest ready to start picking up players.
So is this an estimation you've made based on a collective bargaining agreement that these guys are basically going to be on draftee salaries?
No, it doesn't matter. Because they're older players, they're veterans now. To give them one more year now, they'll accept $250,000. You're not going to pay a 37-year-old or a.
I don't know what you did in your buy round.
35-year-old $700,000.
I don't know what you did in your buy round. Scott Pendlebury is not playing another year of AFL footy for $250,000. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you're dreaming. Listen, the club's not going to pay a 37-year-old, right, $700,000, right, to play another year footy. It's not going to happen.
Hold on. There's a big difference between 250 and 700. What's the middle ground? I can accept that. Jamie Elliott and Pendlebury and side bottom, they'll accept 500, maybe 400, but they're not accepting 250. I'm sorry.
Another year. We're talking about another year only. One more year. They're going on for one more year, not 2-3 years. This is their last contract. So they're going to get a $250,000 a year wage to play football and win another premiership. Pendlebury wants to get to the game's record, right? Once he gets to the game's record, he's going to make mega dollars.
Mate, think about it. Hold on. Think about it, all right? I understand the quest to become a dynasty team if we can win a flag or 2 over the next 2 years. But these guys they're getting older. They want to look after their body. It's got to be worth the sacrifice. Their bodies are on the line for another year. There's no way they're accepting. Mate, you're spitting in the face of Scott Pendlebury if you're going to offer that much.
Listen, bro, right? They would have told the club, pay us $250,000. We've made our money through the club. We'll give something back to the club now. We'll play for $250,000 a year. And there's something come up as well. There's something in their contracts. There's a clause in their contracts due to injury as well. They're doing some clause in their contracts or so as well. There's a clause they're doing. I'm telling you, we're going to have. Hey, put it this way. All right. Let's make it easy for you.
All right.
Even $2 million for 6 players. Now, say $1.6 million combined for 6 players to play on next year. Would you take it?
Look, all I know is we're putting you on record. This is going to be put on the channel the comment section will have their say, and then we can go from there. At the end of the day, whatever they're getting, it's going to be less than what they're accustomed to, acquainted with. That's fine. That's what they're doing for the betterment of the club. What's positive is they all want to play on, which is important, of course, right?
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to say is we're going to have a war chest.
Yes.
We're going to have money in the salary cap. If they do this, we're going to have mega dollars in the salary cap because there's talk of us getting a couple of good players. Free agents. We want free agents. We don't want to give up 2-3 picks for shit kickers.
Yeah, the problem is in the market of unrestricted free agency. There's not a lot of players out there that you can get without picks at the moment.
That's okay. That's okay. The older players will go on for another season until the other players come out of contract. See, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So there's also Billy. We talked about this the other week, didn't we? Billy Frampton, Lockie Sullivan, Parker, Markov, McRae, and Charlie Dean are also there. And with players coming in through the draft by way of academy and father-son, some of those players are going to have to make way, unfortunately.
I reckon Cox and Mitchell on the way out. But all the others, as I said, they're going to sign back on. And they've been playing good football. So just give them another year and we'll see. Put it this way, even if you give them another year and they start playing shit halfway through the season, it's not costing you much. You can put them back in the VFL and you can bring young kids in. You know what I mean?
Who in those players, those pool of 6 players, would play VFL next year?
Yeah. I'm just saying. No, I'm saying if they're on minimum wage and they're not costing us big money, and they're not performing halfway through next year, or they fall off the cliff, you just put them in the VFL, or a couple of them that are performing. You bring in the kids in, a couple of kids in.
Who Scott?
Or you're going to have free agents anyway.
Who Scott Pendlebury?
Nah, he wouldn't have played on if he knew he couldn't perform properly. It would have fallen off the cliff. He wouldn't have played on. He was not going to embarrass himself, bro. He's not going to embarrass himself for that. He's going to embarrass himself and go play like a shit kicker.
Look, it'll be interesting. Look, this is what we're seeing right now is Collingwood and Geelong are the trailblazers in this domain. Like playing players well past their 30s. I think it creates a lot of optimism for other clubs with this management moving forward. It's really good for the whole league, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the other, I've said it before. Rebuilds don't work. If rebuilds worked, Port Adelaide would have had a premiership by now. It's been 25 years. If rebuilds worked, Carlton would have had a premiership by now. It's been 30 years. If rebuilds worked, St Kilda would have had a premiership by now. If rebuilds worked, Fremantle would have been premiership winners by now. It doesn't work, bro. It's all bullshit, bro.
You can't bottom out. You can't bottom out, is what you're saying. You got to find a way not to bottom out.
The facts are there. Other clubs have picked up number 1 draft picks everywhere, and they still haven't won a flag. We've won flags, and we've played in finals.
I want to go back to a comment earlier, Manny, 1 second, because we missed it. It was from Rick. I do want to catch up on some of the comments. Rick, in regards to Jordan De Goey, Manny, give him a couple of quarters in the VFL like Geelong did with Dangerfield and build him up. We need fit runners against the Saints.
Listen.
What about Danger? Danger played VFL. You played VFL?
Yes, but there's a difference here.
Yeah.
You know what the difference is?
Yep. What is it?
St Kilda and West Coast are like VFL teams anyways, aren't they? So you might as well just play them against them too.
Okay. I see what you're saying. But the difference is, right?
You know what I'm saying? They're shit kickers. So instead of playing in VFL, you're not playing them against a Geelong or someone. You're playing them against shit kickers. You play them against St Kilda and you play them against West Coast. Get him fully fit and then get him ready for Carlton.
So you're comfortable if you get subbed out at half time or in the third quarter or something like that, if it's the case?
Yeah, sub him out. Get work into his legs and sub him out. 3/4 time, sub him out. Or you can play in VFL. He gives a shit. Like he said, put him in the VFL for half a game.
I don't know. You're the one vehemently saying can't put De Goey in the VFL. You were just saying that 5 minutes ago. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if he's fit, bring him in against St Kilda and West Coast, because we should beat them. We should beat them comfortably. If we don't beat them comfortably, we're not serious, bro. Are you kidding me? St Kilda and West Coast. What did St Kilda lose from the Bulldogs? What was it 70, 80 points?
Oh, whatever it was, doesn't matter. It was an ugly game. It was an ugly game.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if we're serious, we beat St Kilda and we beat West Coast easily. Simple.
Hopefully, yeah.
What do you reckon?
That's the plan. We'd like to it's the business end of the business end of the season. You need to win. Well, 2023 we didn't do that, and we defied odds in that way. We need to, you don't want to be, you don't want to play.
Then again, we don't. Yeah, go.
I was going to say you don't want to play with fire and go into the final series with bad form. Doesn't work out normally.
We'll put it this way: it doesn't really bother me because at this point of time, we don't really need Geordie. We don't really need Geordie now. We've got wins in the bank. If they want to keep Geordie and get him fully primed for the big time action, that might be even better. So he's fully primed. You know what I mean? So when he comes on, you can see that Geordie De Goey burst. We want to see that burst. We don't want to see Geordie De Goey turtle style. We want to see that burst. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Voidoid Generation says rebuilds work for some, but not for all, because success is hard. That being said, I prefer our approach. It's more sustainable.
Exactly. Well, facts have proven. Every other club's trying to rebuild. They've been in the wilderness for years, and also they get their players poached. All their players get poached. We've come since Fly's got into coaching for our club. Our club's changed now. Our club's totally changed. We're not losing players, many players. We're not losing guns, and we're picking up free agents.
Do you, out of all the free agents in the next couple of years, who do you like the most?
Yeah, we'll pick up some. Yeah, Fly's. Who do I like?
Mm.
I like free agents that we're not going to give up draft picks for. I'm not giving up 2 first draft picks and a $1.4 million for Ben King. It's not going to happen. He's a shit kicker. He's not a power forward.
Come on,
He's a leading forward. He's not a power forward. You're not going to give King 2 first rounders and 1.4 on our salary cap to get him into the club. What for? Our forwards are doing better than King now. That we got now. They're playing better than King.
Look, I respect that. I respect that because Collingwood, the way they move the ball inside 50, you could put fucking Manny Costo in a goal square and we'll kick goals. Like, that's the way it is. So I understand that. But Ben King is not a shit kicker. He will complement any team that he walks into.
Ben King is a shit kicker. Simple. You know who's the gun? You know who the gun is?
Who?
Jason Dunstall, Wayne Carey, Tony Lockett. They're guns.
Malaka,
Ben King's a shit kicker.
Stop living in the past, mate.
All right, listen, this reference that goes around, superstar and all this bullshit, it's overrated. I'm telling ya, I've seen football and they're guns. You give me Wayne Carey or a player like that or a Jason Dunstall, I'm giving up I'll give up 3 first rounders and $2 million on the salary cap every other week. 3-4 goals kicked every single week. Not 1 goal kicked and then he goes missing for 2 weeks and then he kicks 3 and then he goes missing for 2 weeks. Nah. If you come in there on that much money, you're going to be kicking 3 goals minimum every week and bringing the ball down.
So let me ask you this, right? When we inevitably have to give up Myercheck, Elliott, Membrey, McStay, who occupies that space thereafter?
Yeah. Yeah, you bring what we got now. Westy and the other forward we've picked up. You're trying to get them.
Hold on.
No.
Westy and Noah Howes will not be ready for another 5-6 years. They will not be in their prime.
Yeah. And what?
And what? You tell me. And what? Then what? In the meanwhile, the boys, the forwards, those forwards we talked about, they got one more year. Then what?
Okay. How many premierships did Richmond win with one forward, a mid-sized forward? How many premierships?
They always had either Tom Lynch and or Jack Rewalt.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is the tall forwards now are not as important as they used to be. The game's changed. The small forwards and medium forwards are more important these days.
And who will they be in 2 years' time for the Collingwood Football Club?
Well, West might come on. You got the other draftee that might come on. We'll monitor the situation, and if we can see if they're coming on or not. If they're not coming on, then you go pick up another forward. But you don't give up the farm for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the last part. You don't necessarily give up the farm. Ben King would be good. It's just you'd have to give up a lot plus a massive contract for him as well.
Exactly.
I understand. I understand.
As I said to you, if he's kicking 80 goals a year, we'll pay him 2 first rounders and 1.4 on the salary cap. Because don't forget, I'm telling you, when Kingy Boy's in the Gold Coast now, but when Kingy Boy comes to Collingwood, the amount of scrutiny and press drama he's going to cop from the media playing for Collingwood, it's a whole different level.
Yeah.
It's a whole different level. When you play for Collingwood and you're not performing, you get hammered in the media every single week. He's in the Gold Coast now, and he's not copping as much. But once he comes to Melbourne and plays for the biggest club in the land, they're going to come after him.
Yep.
Even Rao there. Rao, what's all this talk about Rao? What's Rao? What does Rao do more than what Long gives us? Seriously, if you think about it properly.
You see, I agree. Hold on. I agree on that. However, at the start of the season, we did not unearth Ned Long up until 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds in. We didn't realize what we had. Now we do. So I understand that.
Yes, but now we did.
Yeah.
But now we did. Now we did realize we can't be giving up. We can't be giving up first round draft picks for normal unless they're guns. You give me Nick Dacos. You give me Nick Dacos, and I'm taking. I'll be giving 2 first round picks for Dacos.
Yeah.
We just got to be careful now. We don't screw up the system. Everything's in place now. All our money's in place and our salary cap, everything's fine. We just don't want to be fucking up things at the moment. Who else is on Discord? Anyone else like that?
It would just be you. I messaged Greatness. Greatness is in the server, but I messaged you. It's just going to be me and Manny today. It's not, guys. Not every show will have guests. Obviously, guys. Naturally, Manny has taken a bit of a co-host role. You guys seem to love him, and we love him here, so that's why we're going to give him the. He always has. See, Manny and I, we're two stubborn wogs, so we like the back and forth. We're not always going to agree, but that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Oh, that's exactly right. But put it this way: even if we can win the premiership this year, if we can snag the premiership somehow this year, 2 premierships in 3 years, whatever happens after that won't bother us too much. Hopefully we can snag the premiership, man. I just want to get it done this year. We're so close, I can smell it.
It's close, man. It's close.
Fucking close, bro.
So,
it's real close, mate. It's real close now.
What else have we got? What else are we looking forward to going into this week? Tim Membrey, huh? Versus St Kilda, huh?
Yeah, Membrey back playing his old side again?
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to rip him. Oh, is it the Marvel, huh?
Marvel,
is it a Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he plays good at Marvel. I reckon he's going to kick about 2-3 goals. Next day we'll be playing. My check will be playing. And plus we're coming off a bye. I just want them to come out from the first bounce. I don't want no rust. I don't want no football rust. I don't want them to come out sluggish. I want them to come out and just bury him. Just come out and bury him straight away.
I have a question. So with Tim Membrey, right? And this actually sort of segues into our conversation from before. We talked about not bottoming out and all that sort of stuff, right? St Kilda didn't necessarily bottom out, but they did let go of a player like Tim Membrey, who maybe could have can and obviously still and has at Collingwood contributed? Could have he done that for the Saints? And that's talking to the list management side of things. Like, would you say that's an error on St Kilda's end, or have they done the right thing?
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's a major error because you know what is a major error is because they relied on getting Max King back from injury, and he's just had another setback. So there's something wrong with his knee. They don't know what's going on with his knee. So he's had another setback now. He's not playing for the rest of the season. So they should have kept Membrey as a decoy or a backup, but they got rid of him. And I knew when Membrey comes to Collingwood, I knew that he was going to perform because it gives players a new lease of life when they leave an old club. Just imagine playing for St Kilda there for years and you can't play finals and you're playing like shit kickers. All of a sudden you come to the biggest club in the land, playing against 90,000 people. Just normally, you're going to start playing good football because you're rejuvenated. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Even the way he celebrates, I've watched him. The way he celebrates after kicking goals, I never used to see him do that at a St Kilda. So I could tell that he's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Even Kennedy from Carlton, as soon as he's gone to the Bulldogs, he's playing good football. He's kicked about 16, 17 goals. So when players leave clubs and they're not getting opportunity or they're bogged down, as soon as they go to a new club, it rejuvenates their career.
Yeah, and look, but that's the thing, right? So maybe St Kilda fans, from their perspective, they probably say, well, look, I was going to say, look, Membrey went to another club and he's revivified his career, but he still kicked 30-odd goals last year for St Kilda, didn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't play every game. They dropped him. They dropped him as well. Ross Lyon dropped him. He didn't play every game. Check the computer. I'm telling you, he got dropped. He wasn't playing consistent football. I remember I saw a few games of St Kilda and he wasn't playing. They were playing that Caminiti up forward. They were using Caminiti up forward. That shit kicker, Caminiti.
Now I know this chat is biased because we're all Collingwood fans, but I'm going to make a poll. Did St Kilda make a mistake delisting Tim Membrey?
Of course.
And it's live.
How much money do you reckon Tim Membrey's getting paid at Collingwood? Seriously, how much money do you think he's on? I'm telling you, he's not 400, 450, 450, 500 maximum.
Yeah.
If we're getting that at a Membrey for 450, 500 maximum, we're laughing. He gets up the ground as well. He gets up the ground, takes marks off the ground. He's involved with the link play. He's involved with the play as well. So we're laughing. And not only that, our coach has got a way of getting players from other clubs to perform. He must give them freedom. I don't know what he does, but he must tell them, go out there and play football and don't worry about nothing. Because I've noticed when players come to our club, they play good football for some reason.
Look,
either that or it's the system or it's the culture or something's going on.
There's a lot of things, but the potion that fly makes, there's something in it that players like Membrey and whatnot, they just thrive once they've consumed that. Benny's in the chat. What did Benny say? Thanks for the 5, Benny. Evening, legends. How much do buy rounds suck when it's our turn? Silver lining. Don't have to talk about resting anyone for a while.
They don't suck as much, Benny. When you're sitting on top of the ladder, they don't suck as much. Trust me, when you're sitting on top of the ladder, it didn't bother me. When you're on top of the ladder and you're not desperate to get wins, you can just sit up there and watch the rest of them play. And there's a few injuries have popped up as well. A few injuries from other clubs have popped up. You got a couple from Brisbane. One's done his knee from Brisbane, a key defender. The Carlton shit kickers, they got a few injuries popped up. So that's good. We're coming in fresh.
This is true. Very, very, very much so.
Carlton, the other teams are shaky now. They're getting shaky.
Man, it's that time. Hey, I need you to G up. It's that time.
Listen, I'm simmering now. It's Monday. We're playing Saturday. I'm simmering.
Okay.
I want the job done. These 2 games for us now are critical. If we can win the next 3 in a row, we're laughing. We're set up beautifully. Beautifully. You can't get any better than this. That's a perfect season. We've played a perfect season of football. Absolutely perfect. The only loss we've had is a Geelong one, 3 points. If we nearly won that as well, we had it on our boot. If we took that, would have been the only game we would have lost to the start of the season there. All the way back to the start of the season would have been our only loss.
Yeah.
Would have gone through a whole season, half a season, without losing a game of football.
Crazy.
And we've got and our injury list is good. Hopefully, pray to God, we don't get multiple injuries and we stay healthy. As long as we stay healthy, we're laughing.
Done. Egg in there. All right, I'm gonna do 10 minutes on my own, Manny. So we'll see you in the next couple of days. All right, Philly.
Yes.
There. All right, let's. I wanna spend some time just going through the comments one by one and having a chat with you guys as well. So I'll scroll up a bit. Rick says, if Membrey is getting 450k a year and Manny expects Pendles and the other 30-year-old to take 250 to 300 is laughable. Yeah, it's a blunder. Look, here's the thing. Manny is a little bit rusty. We've had the bye. We haven't done a live stream in nearly a week. When he says stuff like that, it rubs people the wrong way. I understand what he's trying to say, but it's Pendles is, if Membrey's getting 450, you can't expect Pendles to be earning any less than that next year, even if it's for an extra year. I mean, it's not like, here's the thing, right? It's not like Collingwood is saying, hey, Pendles and Sidebottom and Elliott, we're going to give you another year. So we're going to extend your career for one more year. It's not, this is earned. This is based on their form. The players really have more leverage than the club right now. But because these players are so true to the culture and believe in the vision in what we're trying to achieve, they'll say, all right, most of those players could get 2-3 years at other clubs right now on good money. Sidebottom Elliott, he's what, second or third in the Coleman before the bye round, right? So these players could go anywhere they like. But they're doing the club a favour more than the club are doing them a favour. Do you guys agree? Teresa says, some of us actually like watching football regardless of where we are on the ladder. Yeah. Look, it is nice that while we had the bye round, we got to enjoy that and soak it in a bit. But it does suck when there's no VFL pies and there's no AFL pies. It leaves you begging for a little bit more. But you know what they say? What do they say? Distance makes the heart grow fonder. So that's what it is. And now we don't have to worry about a bye until the final series, just before the final series, I believe. And then hopefully if we finish top 4 and win our first game, we'll have another bye then. But that's a little bit different, that feeling, isn't it? Paul Stevens, fans are going hard on Dan Houston this year. His output is not what it was at Port Adelaide. People forget Lockie Schultz had the same issue when he arrived. So I feel like maybe SEN as well. They probably didn't have a crack at him, but they sort of just highlighted that Houston hasn't been doing what he's done at Port Adelaide. But really, I just feel like he's released the shackles on other players. Look at Josh Dacos this year. Look at Isaac Quaynor in his last 3-4 games. He's been exceptional. I would say Quaynor is almost in career best form. In the meanwhile, Houston is finding his feet and getting better every game, getting better defensively. Yeah, his use by foot hasn't been great. Is his kicking efficiency down? Barely compared to last year, 2%. But I think defensively he's been great. His last few games he's been just doing a job. He's not getting his 20, 25 touches or whatever it was at Port Adelaide. But I feel like it's more than what meets the eye with Dan Houston, what he's been able to do for the club so far. I'll catch up, keep going. Teresa says, we haven't played a perfect season. There were multiple games we didn't play our best. I mean, I don't think anybody expects a perfect season from any club in any sport at any level. So, yeah, I think I said after the Geelong game, you do need not a humbling loss, but you do need losses along the way so you can recalibrate and reset and go from there. I think Geelong did that really well. I'd be more than comfortable with losing a game or two, a game maybe, just to once again reset the mentality, if that makes sense for you guys. Flag winners always seem to have a clean injury list as greatness. Very true. If I'm thinking back, Geelong healthy, Collingwood healthy. 2024 was Brisbane healthy. Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Ben Zero says, results-wise, we would have taken this at the start of the year. And the start to our season, the first 5, 6, 7 games, we would have taken that. And now look what we've got. Unbelievable. Ultimate Greatness says, money is irrelevant. We know the senior guys are taking unders. That was the whole point. Membrey was a delisted free agent, so he'd be on peanuts, yeah. So would it be 450, or are you saying like 350 Greatness? RJ says, Geelong have an easy run home, but I prefer a few hard games before finals to prepare. I think they're our biggest threat at the moment, though. How did 2023, our end to that season? I don't know. Look, we didn't perform great. We had injuries, so there was that as the caveat to how we sort of struggled. Nick Dacos was out and whatnot. Darcy Moore, I think he had his hamstring, so he was coming back from that. So yeah, you definitely do want some games just to fine tune things against really strong opposition that you'll probably be facing. I mean, put it this way, I would hate to be versing North and West Coast to finish the season. It's not a great way to taper into a final series, in my opinion. Stu Peters says, we will only lose 2 games for the rest of the season, which puts us top 2 and double chance, which is critical because of the amounts of interstate teams that are vouching for home finals this season. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's the one, Paul. Teresa says, Geelong scares a shit out of me. Lol, De Goey fit is a must. Geelong, yeah. Geelong in a final series, it's always tough. I think back to, was it 2022 qualifying final when Jeremy Cameron just did his thing in that last quarter, and Gary Rowan as well. Yeah, they're right now, I think they're right now, at this point in time, they're going to be our greatest challenge if and when we do bump into them throughout the final series. Mello says, people need to ease up on the Houston criticism. Houston was the man at Port. Pies have a more even system, and it's all right. That's right. System-based, Houston does a lot more than just what he does with the ball in his hands. Keep catching up to the comments. Dan is playing the role asked of him, which is, yep, exactly right, Ben. Houston playing a role. You guys know. Come on, we're not stupid. We are much more wiser and smarter than the mainstream media propaganda machine. We know what these players are here for. You know, we're not dumb. We watch enough footy. We follow our club deeply enough to understand where everyone stands right now. Stu Peter says, I firmly believe that we will get the 2 NGAs and Tom McGuan as well. 2 big fish next draft trade period. Yeah, let's get through this year first. Obviously, getting the NGAs and McGuan. And look, in my video that I posted today, I did mention the fact that I'm not too sure where the NGAs and McGuan will land in this draft. Their Vic Metro performances were okay, but they're not like they're actually not really the go-to guys in that Vic Metro team. So I wonder how that hinders their draft rankings. Still a little bit more to see with the national championships and the TAC Cup and the Coates Talent League. Goodness, the Coates Talent League and the finals with that as well. You know, McGuan is the guy at the Western Jets. He's averaging beyond 30 touches a game. He's finding the 2 big sticks as well. Saxena's playing really good footy at school level, at Chargers level as well. He had a really good start to the first half of that game against South Australia. McCarthy had moments as well, so we'll see where they all land. Theodoraki says, is the Goey's issue fixable? I don't know. I mean, he's ticking the boxes right now, so I'm sure most injuries you can, especially like soft tissue and whatnot, and I think it's more of a conditioning issue. Like he because he's not conditioned, little soft tissue niggles keep arising. Houston's playing a system. Think of it as a band. He's gone from being the lead singer to a background bass guitarist. He's playing his role and will grow within that. Love that analogy, greatness. Rick says Dan will stand up and take over more when someone decides to tag Josh Dacos. There's that as well. And I'd like to see Dan Houston in a finals environment. I think that's when we're going to get the best version of Dan Houston. Info, talk about anything, says Scott and Sidebottom will be 500 minimum next year, 500K. St Kilda plays one really good game every 4 to 5 weeks. I bet you they make it a hard game on Saturday and we just get over the line. Always expecting a tough game against every opposition these days, to be honest. And St Kilda, they've taken it to us the last couple games at least. They beat us last year. I remember that gather round game. They really pushed us right to the end. Let's have a look what our record is. So they beat us last year by 15 points. We beat them in 2023 by 6. We beat them by a few goals in 22. They beat us in 2021. We're 6-4 in the last 10 against them. Do you see Cox in our best, Sino Super? Not right now. Not right now. I mean, things can change, form and whatnot. But I think we're pretty settled. Like we've pretty much, we just play small as much as possible these days. I mean, when Darcy Moore's been out, we haven't brought in Charlie Dean. There's been times when we've brought in Cox, but if McStay's available, we don't bring in Cox. Our forward line, barring this year for the longest time, has been relatively small compared to the rest of the league. Okay, Henry, what have we got, brother? You should give up your channel. You don't know what you're talking about and don't know enough about football. I'm a Collingwood supporter, but have problem listening to your rubbish. Interesting. Welcome, mate. Thank you for the view. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, Void goes, Henry, I don't think he wears Chanel. Hey, sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get that. Hey, people are entitled to their opinion. Teresa says, I actually think Saxena is going to be drafted higher than everyone. Only thing is, Teresa, is Saxena is a small forward, right? Whereas, McGuan being a midfielder on baller, that's probably a little bit more attractive. He's a little bit more versatile. Same thing with McCarthy. But Saxena is definitely having a really good season so far. Funny how people who announce the dislike are always here to announce it. Hey, it is what it is. Like I said, the thing is, guys, like I will never suppress someone from saying what they want to say, even if it's flog or if it's a bad take. Hey, I have bad takes myself, right? And I don't. He's not necessarily being a bully. He thinks the content's shit. If he thinks the content's shit, then so be it. You know, I'm not everyone's slice of cake. You know, it is what it is. Obviously, Henry's a Carlton supporter. Yeah, he reckons he's a Collingwood supporter, guys. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think, guys, look, on that note, the poll, by the way, 84% of the people that participated in the poll believe that St Kilda, in fact, did make a mistake delisting Tim Membrey. 16% say no. Okay. Unexpected One says, do you think Harvey Harrison is part of our future Nat forward line? Absolutely. I think he's shown more than enough signs. Unfortunately, he's on a long-term injury list right now with he's had some sort of setback with his knee. There's not a lot of like information surrounding it right now. So look, play it safe. I think, we've got enough depth and players performing at a high, consistent level right now to accommodate for the absence of like a Harvey Harrison, a Reef McInnes, Tom Mitchell, Jordan De Goey. Let him get his knee right. He's so young. Let him get right and find himself back in the side next year. He's versatile. He can play forward. He can play on the wing. He's a really safe player. Really liked it. Really liked it. Okay. Lipinski should be back this week. Typically, if the concussion protocol is like 10 days, he had the game off against Melbourne, had the bye. I think if all things going well, he's ticking the box. He should find it. He will be back in the side if he's available. Peter reckons McCarthy will be the first to be bidded on. AB says Henry is the 16%. RJ says we love you. Thanks, mate. Dom says keep an eye on the two Rocker boys. Apparently they're both developing really well. Two big forwards. What are they, like 15 or 16 right now? Voidoid Generation says, I think Perryman and Long have made the biggest difference to how we play this year. They're going to be the type of players that when we look back at these kind of seasons, you go, wow, like these guys were the makeup of the Collingwood Football Club. Nick Dacos and all those sort of stuff, they're the superstars, but these guys are the pillars, the foundations. So, exactly, they release others to do max damage, but in the same breath, Ned Long is doing some serious damage himself. But yeah. All right, guys, I'll leave you with that. I'm going to do... So, the Mondays moving forward will be fan takeaways, but we'll be doing it as a live stream. And then if you guys want to, like, obviously have a chat in the comment section, we'll do that as well while we do the fan takeaways. And then we can catch up on looking forward to the week ahead. So that will be Monday, 6 p.m. moving forward. And then we'll always have Moving the Magnets. We'll have the pre-game show, the post-game show. And then there'll probably be one more live on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, or maybe even on a Friday, just depending on where we're at in the week and what day is our game as well. So that's important. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys all being here, and we'll see you over the next few days.